Shalom to all my friends around the world. So many of you ask me, what else can be done and how can I help? So I want to tell you again, this hug that you're giving us with these words, this connection, is a huge comfort right now. In fact, yesterday, one of the reporters on television talked about how the Jewish communities around the world and the Israelis in Israel got reconnected in a way that has not happened since 1967. And this is something that I absolutely cherish. In these days, like many shocked people here, the thing I'm looking for the most after this horror is hope. I feel so much pain and uncertainty. When will it end? Will a front in the north open as well? What will happen to our soldiers? How will we manage to live with the notion that this evil happened and is still happening to our kidnapped babies, soldiers, women, and old men? How will we manage to rise from this as people, as a society? Will anyone still want to visit here after this is all over? I've never searched for hope like I am looking for it today. And when I ask myself, what is the hope that has sustained the Jewish people throughout years of history and through so many terrible events, I return to the Bible, which I love so much. This is the same Bible whose words were found in caves in the Judean desert on parchment, known as the Dead Sea Scrolls, the 2,000-year-old scrolls found by chance in 1947 in those caves contain almost exactly the same text as we read today. Just unbelievable. Yes, that the same text that has been with us for thousands of years today is not only in the hearts of Jews, but also in the hearts of billions of Christians around the world. And while this may surprise you, quotes from the same text are found throughout the Quran, although with slightly different wording. While Christianity was literally born out of Judaism, Islam also relies on Judaism and on the Jewish Bible in a deep and significant way, and without hiding it. For example, in chapter 46 of the Quran, Muhammad says, and before it was the scripture of Moses to lead and as a mercy. And this is a confirming book in an Arabic tongue. Many of the stories that appear in the Bible appear again in the Quran using different wording. The stories of Noah, Abraham, Joseph, the exodus of the Israelites from Egypt, and more. The vile crimes we have just witnessed that even Satan could not invent do not in any way represent the explicit words that Muhammad said in the Quran. There are quite a few enlightened Muslim clerics around the world today, such as Sheikh Abdul Palachi, who speak lovingly of Israel and even quote from the Quran the promise of the land of Israel to the children of Israel. But their voices, at this time being, are not really heard. When I shared my current feelings and worries with my father, he quoted a verse he remembers from the book of Isaiah, chapter 54. No weapon forged against you will prevail, and you will refute every tongue that accuses you, declares the Lord. Later, I found myself opening the book of Isaiah and eagerly reading the entire chapter, and the words are nothing less than amazing. The comfort they provided made me cry. The beauty of the poetry in Isaiah is, of course, most noticeable when you read them in Hebrew, the language in which they were written. But the power also penetrates in the translation of the words. Lately, I've been asking myself a question over and over again. How did God allow, and how does God still allow these atrocities to happen? Perhaps the question should be, how did people allow themselves to commit such atrocities in the name of God? My answer is that I don't know. It is impossible to know. It says in the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 30, that God gave us the choice between life and death, evil and good, and commanded us to choose life. Many people choose evil. And yet, maybe there is some answer or hope in these verses of Isaiah 54, which says in the name of God the following: For a brief moment I abandoned you, but with deep compassion I will bring you back. In a surge of anger I hid my face from you for a moment, but with everlasting kindness I will have compassion on you. The amazing thing is that I found out that the verses in Isaiah 54 that I quoted just now and that comforted me in this week also happen to be the verses that are being read this very Shabbat in synagogues all around the world as part of the Haftarah following this week's Parashah of Noah. Exactly this week. And in this week's Parsha called Noah, it is described that the earth was full of evil and crime, and therefore God decides to destroy the entire human race except of Noah. And in another amazing way, it says that the land was full of Hamas. Vatimale haaretz Hamas. Yes, that is how it is written in the Hebrew Bible. Maybe not all of you know, but while in Arabic, Hamas means religious enthusiasm and fanaticism, in Hebrew, it describes wickedness, robbery, and crime, and appears in other places in the Bible too. So it is written in the Bible, in the weekly Parsha that we read this Shabbat, that the country was full of Hamas. And yes, this is not the first time that words, and especially names in the Hebrew Bible, hint what is about to happen. And what is left for me to take away from these words in the Bible? The evil of Hamas should be destroyed, just as it was destroyed by God in the days of Noah. And regarding hope, as the prophet Isaiah says in chapter 54 to the daughter of Zion, "Don't be afraid, you will not be put to shame. Do not fear disgrace. You will not be humiliated. You will forget the shame of your youth and remember no more the reproach of your widowhood." Hoping that those days will come, hoping they will come soon. Shabbat Shalom.